Welcome to episode 637 of the Barcelona podcast, brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network. I'm Dan Hilton, and this game really did have everything. Barcelona against Real Betis. It didn't end the way the Barca fans would have liked, but it does give us a lot to talk about. If you want more talking on this channel or anywhere else, of course, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel or give me a good rating on the podcast apps. Of course, as low as $3, you can get these shows without the ads on Patreon. And, of course, going to the merch store around this holiday season can help me out quite a bit when Barcelona winning or losing or drawing like they did today. So let's do it. The 5 headlines from Barcelona's 2-2 draw with Real Betis. Headline 1 is Betis starts well, Barca responds. Real Betis at home with those paper airplanes flying. It's an afternoon game, well, I guess early evening in Andalusia, and Real Betis came to play. Second minute, Rafinha saved one off the line. This was a pivotal moment that, because of everything else that happened in this game, as I said, it was full of highlights, that we seem to forget it, that Real Betis had one that was ready to go into the goal in the second minute, and Rafinha winds up in Iñaki Peña's goal, knocking it off the line, and that's at 2 corners to start the match for Real Betis. Third minute, Abde in transition, forcing a really good save by Iñaki Peña, and we'll bring up Peña throughout this match because he was one of the reasons why Barcelona didn't lose this match, but they wound up settling for the draw. Inigo Martinez hit a ball to Koundé for Barcelona's first shot attempt, a really good, I guess, Route 1 football moment for Barcelona, but I think that was actually the problem for Barca in this first half. I guess that's a first half issue for me, that they were just a bit too vertical with their stuff. They were trying to stretch Betis, and I get that because Betis were defending very narrow and trying to, both horizontally and vertically though. They were trying to keep everything really compact. So how do you do that? You get them behind or you stretch them wide. So I get the idea, but the balls from Barca weren't completely on target, and when they did have their chances, they didn't really make the most of them. That said, with the way that this game started, I thought Barcelona kind of found their footing in the first half because Castro was just winning the ball back a number of times and not allowing Real Betis to get out on the counter the way they should have, probably around after the 15th minute. Betis were also asking Koundé to beat them by defending narrow and constantly putting bodies around Pedri and Olmo, as I said, keeping all those green and white shirts in the middle of the park so that Olmo didn't have any space and Pedri didn't have any space either. So I thought those two, Pedri and Olmo in particular, in the first 25 minutes were completely missing. So again, this is a lot of credit to the game plan and for Pellegrini to trust that the young midfielder in Mateo Flores, who was being tasked to man-mark Pedri, would kind of just surround him and be around him and be his shadow. And I think it was really interesting to see Pedri kind of navigate that extra bit of attention that he was getting from Real Betis. Now, while Lamine Yamal, I think, had some moments in the first half, he was better even in the second half. 15th minute, Koundé plays the ball through to Lamine Yamal. The cross doesn't reach Rafinha, and then Rafinha tried to return the favor moments later, but Lamine Yamal couldn't channel his inner Johan Cruyff, or I guess channel his inner Alexia Putellas, because she had a goal very, very similar to the Cruyff one earlier this season. But yeah, Lamine Yamal couldn't find the back of the net there. 25th minute, Balde, his second dribble move from the sideline. I thought Balde had good moments in this game, and not necessarily bad moments, but just moments that weren't as clean as you'd expect from him. So I thought it was a bit of a 50-50 game from Balde, but his second dribble move from the sideline finds Olmo, who skies it over. Not missing by much, but Olmo not really having the impact that you'd want him to have in this game. Headline 2 is Pedri powers a team goal. I did think in the first, as I said, about 25 minutes of the match, it wasn't necessarily that the team as a unit was struggling like we've seen at other times this season, but it was that individual mistakes or just individuals not being as clean as they could be. I thought the runs for each other, the third man runs, all the little things that Barcelona had to do to get a result or get some goals was coming to fruition. And you also felt, because it's Real Betis, as has been the case now for years, goals were going to happen in this game. It was just a matter of when and who would score them. And fortunately for Barcelona, they did get the first goal in this one, and it is a team goal that sends us to the tactics board. All right, in our tactics board on Big Up, remember, this kind of cool feature of the tactics board is available on Big Up, so you join me for those watch-alongs. It's always a big help. So in this first goal, the two things that we really want to notice right away is that both Pedri and Lamine Yamal attract attention. And when they're close to each other, we see them both kind of in this space here, with Castro supporting, and then Koundé, that other man. And if Pedri and Lamine Yamal are going to be that close to each other, that means that that other midfielder is just stuck. Is he going to help on Pedri? Is he going to help on Lamine Yamal? And the way this goal is set up is, again, this ball comes over here to Pedri, to Lamine Yamal, to Koundé, back to Lamine Yamal. So as Lamine Yamal has the ball here, 2 runs are made that are really important. Koundé, of course, comes in behind, makes that run, and then Pedri makes that third man run. And that's exactly what you want to see. So when that ball goes out to Koundé and then comes back to Lamine Yamal quickly to Pedri, and that one touch into Koundé in behind, and then everyone else doing the job that they're supposed to do. Olmo coming inside for the near post run, and Lewandowski there at the back post for the cross to come in. Here comes the cross in for Lewandowski, and the goal is scored. Really beautiful team goal here. And again, all of that is really built on the fact that Pedri makes a third man run, but Koundé supports with the overlapping run, and Lamine Yamal draws that extra attention. Castro also in support there, so even if they lose the ball, they're prepared. This is well done by Barcelona, and before that, this is one of those where I don't have the number here, but you count the passes in the build-up. Barcelona being very, very patient and waiting for their opportunities, waiting for that space to be created, and all those different runs, the third-man runs, is what makes all this happen. Really great job by Barcelona as a whole. For Lewandowski, this is goal number 16 in the Liga for him. Really awesome stuff, and as I said, Real Betis was asking Koundé, hey, Koundé, can you beat us with that final ball? And he does here with this final ball. Olmo and Lewandowski making the runs into the box. Good stuff from Barcelona, and I thought one of the prettier team goals that they've scored all season long. The headline 3 is Betis biting back. Real Betis, Pellegrini takes them in the locker room, says the right stuff because they started the second half just the way they started the first half, with some bite, some fight, some extra, with that same fury that they began the first half with. Altamira in the 51st minute should have had the 1-1 at that point. On the set-piece delivery from Lo Celso, tried to go back across Peña's goal, which is what you want to do, but it goes wide, and then Abde does something similar moments later. At that point, Real Betis should have been at the 1-1. 54th minute on the quick restart, Peña's save on Chimi Avila. This was an incredible save that will get lost in the shuffle, but this is the moment that I really want to highlight Iñaki Peña. If it wasn't Lamine Yamal who was the man of the match in this game, it was definitely Iñaki Peña. I know he conceded 2, but those 2 goals, there was not much more he could have done. Iñaki Peña had a really great game, and the reason why Barcelona didn't lose the 3 points, he's the reason why they got even the 1, and probably a big reason why they should have gotten all 3 in this contest. That save on Chimi Avila, awesome. It was Abde to Chimi Avila, and Vitor Roque was the direct square ball, also in the box, making that run that unbalanced that back line for Barcelona, but as I said, Chimi Avila could not beat Iñaki Peña, which was the case today for him. 57th minute, another set piece. Abde on the header this time wasn't over by much and would have also forced a tough save from Peña. Abde is not going to come back to Barcelona. I can't see that happening, but it does look like Real Betis is certainly his level, which is, even though they're in 11th place right now, the results have not really gone their way, and I think they're a better side than they're showing. So a team that should be pushing for Europe spot, I think that's exactly what Abde's level is. And yeah, I am kind of happy to see him succeed a little bit. I thought he was a good servant for Barcelona when he was there, and good stuff. Kubarsi also, speaking of Abde, defended both Vitor Roque and Abde really well before the first Barcelona subs came on, which came in the 60th minute. Rafinha and Olmo off for Ferran Torres and De Jong. I kind of defend Olmo a little bit here. He started that last match and had a good game, but I don't think he still didn't really look fully fit, which is kind of a worry for Olmo, which is what we talked about when he was signed from RB Leipzig. When he is fit, he's a player. He's a top player. That's why he was in the short list for the Ballon d'Or with RB Leipzig. That he's a good player. When he's on the field, not even a good player, but a top player when he's on the field for both Spain and for his club. But staying on the field and then being fully fit when he's on the field, that is the worry. I think he also took a shot to the face here. Did he lose a tooth? I'm not sure. So didn't look fully fit. And I also thought Real Betis, as I talked about, had a really good game plan in the first half to overload the middle of the field against Pedri and against Olmo. And if Olmo's job is just to create space, then he's got to do that. So on the ball, he could have done more, but I think off the ball, he was a big reason, not a big reason, but he was one of those reasons why Barcelona got that first goal. De Jong comes in as the 10, which was something that we were discussing. So he comes in to press as the 10 in front of Castro and Pedri, which looked like a really good idea because he immediately started pressing, and he's pretty good on the press. It shut me up too with some close control from De Jong that looked really good, helped recycle possession right as he came on the field. So I had some good compliments in the moments after De Jong had come into the game, but then came, I think, maybe the moment of the game, the 1-1 for Real Betis, but it didn't happen immediately. Did De Jong bring Questions here. Why was De Jong the last man back? Well, or out wide defending as a last man back? They're in transition. Well, it's because it was Barcelona putting numbers forward, putting bodies forward, and here comes the transition. This was really close. And I think this is one of the ones that is going to divide the fan base more than others this season. The left arm of De Jong, for me, it was a bit extended. And then Vitor Roque also saying that he lost his boot in the tackle. So VAR takes a look at it. And after closer inspection, I do agree with the referee on this one. It's the left foot of De Jong that catches the right heel of Vitor Roque. And along with the contact on the top part of the body with that arm extended, I think that's enough to bring him down. I do think it's a penalty for those two reasons in conjunction. Hansi Flick disagreed. He gets the red. And now with that red for Hansi Flick, very much like we asked of Xavi when he would get kicked out of these games, could Barcelona have used Hansi Flick and his leadership on the touchline in the last 10 minutes of the match after they scored the go-ahead? I don't know. Again, that's all in hindsight at this point. Barcelona probably should have got the points whether Hansi Flick was on the sideline or not. On the PK that was scored by Lo Celso, Peña guessed right. Again, Peña, hard to fault him for anything today. He guessed right, but Lo Celso puts it in to that corner with enough power and enough pace to get by the goalkeeper. 1-1, it's game on. Headline 4 is Shark onside. More subs for Barcelona, 74th minute. Here comes Gabi. Here comes Pau Victor on for Pedri and Lewandowski. I think Hansi Flick with that starting 11, I say rotation came, and there's your Dortmund rotation, but the rotation came in the second half, not in the first half. The 11 that started for Barcelona was Hansi Flick saying, hey, I want these 3 points, and I trust that we'll figure out a way late in this game to get some rotation. Or, hey, if I have to go with the same 11 against Borussia Dortmund, then I'm going to do that. Or maybe there's rotation coming against Dortmund that we don't know about, and he's going to start Frankie de Jong. Who knows? But I think the 11 showed that Hansi Flick was saying, all right, against Dortmund, Benfica, and Atalanta, we need 4 out of 9 points in the Champions League to qualify in the top 8 and not have to play that what is going to just be insanity in that knockout. So you're going to get into the top 8 by getting the 4 out of 9 points in the Champions League. And let's just even get a draw against Dortmund. I want the 3 points here in the Liga because you have to keep pace in the Liga. At this point, Real Betis also took out Vitor Roque. And to give him his little report card here, there was a lot of pressure on him in this game. It was nice to see him yucking up with his former teammates. His parent club teammates and Hansi Flick, so his parent club manager and all the staff and all that stuff. Clearly, he's playing with more joy, that being Vitor Roque at Real Betis, which is really what you want to see. So if he ever comes back to Barcelona, if he can bring that joy back, that would be great. But what I will say from Vitor Roque's performance today, yes, he won the PK. Yes, he popped up in good spots. But it was one of those, as very much what I've been seeing at certain times from him against, we'll say, higher level competition. I think he can score goals, and he does well against teams that are in the middle of the table or the bottom of the table in the Liga. But against the top teams in the Liga, my concern for Vitor Roque is I leave that match saying, I think he created space really well for others. I'm happy with him to do that. But even though you're creating space, you look at Ferran Torres, and he is not, I don't know. Creating space is not an elite player make, and I've defended Ferran Torres and his potential in the squad. I've defended Vitor Roque and his potential in the squad. That winds up being what it is. If against top-level competition, all you're doing is creating space, well, then you're not the top player that's going to be starting over Lewandowski or number 9 that Barcelona would try to bring in. Or you're not starting on the wing over Rafinha or Lamine Yamal. That finishing product still has to come more for Vitor Roque against top-level competition. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad he didn't score against Barcelona. He won the PK, but I don't come away from this game knowing anything more about Vitor Roque than I didn't from watching him in other matches this season where I thought he was more influential against other opponents. And funny I bring up Ferran Torres because basically right on cue to that point in the game, Ferran Torres goes wide with the shot, but he was offside anyway because he held his run to the near post instead of dragging the defender wide at the far post. Remember, that offside I'm talking about came right before he was onside in the 82nd minute, what should have been the winner, the 2-1 for Barcelona. Castado began this play with another incredible interception. Castado also had a really good game today. I thought winning the 50-50s and giving Barcelona a chance. Torres, they say he's offside, is what they say to start. Lamine Yamal, this is a special ball into Ferran Torres on the through ball, breaking through that back line of Real Betis. But Torres, he was definitely onside. We saw that in live time, and VAR agreed. Aitor Rubial's back leg kept him on by quite a bit. Again, clear as day, or almost as clear as day, especially on the replay. There was no part of Ferran Torres that was even midway through the body of Rubial as I said, I gave Casado his credit, but the underlapping run from Koundé was also important as well. And Ferran Torres with a wide open goal. Hey, glad to see he could finish one here. So this should have been the winner. Barcelona was celebrating. I was even a little bit premature in celebration on the watch along as well. This is what's 2-2, 82nd minute. I said, Barcelona, just hold on here. Then headline 5 is final twist. Well, we know the Barcelona didn't hold on here. Right before stoppage time came, 87th minute, Balde off for Hector Fort, and Inigo Martinez finding himself in a foot race with Diao, who isn't really trusted by Pellegrini, comes on as a sub, doesn't start. I mean, he's a big body with a lot of speed, and the raw tools are there. Can he put it all together? Even on this 50-50 with Inigo Martinez, Martinez winds up winning it. But as was the case a number of times in this match, there was a little bit of physical extra for him. So he's going to be sore. I know Inigo Martinez will after this game, both physically, but emotionally as well, too. Chimi Avila with the shot right at Pena with a lot of power. Real Betis did not quit. They did not go quietly into that gentle night. The 2-2 comes in. The cross, Diao with just a classy finish here. This is the second goal in this game where I go, okay, well, the first goal, of course, don't commit the PK. It's just a really good goal by Real Betis that they score these, but if you're Barcelona, you have to win otherwise, or you have to wind up winning those 50-50s in the midfield where this shot doesn't even come off. It was that little dink from Diao to redirect it. He got in front of Inigo Martinez, goes through his legs. It's just a good goal. Barcelona, they were also getting pretty tired. I think that's more important, how Barcelona structured their game late. They were just gassed, and Real Betis took advantage. They had more fight. They had more desire down the stretch here. I think that's what Hansi Flick will probably be frustrated with. The +8 didn't help as well. This was the first time this season, by the way, that Barcelona did not win a match in the Liga with Lamine Yamal in the starting lineup. That is just incredible. And listen, he was given the man of the match by the Liga, and I think for that second half, it's hard to argue creating that second goal. And Lamine Yamal was special and is special. And I think Barcelona were unfortunate not to get the 3 points. But then you look at the XG, and I know we kind of throw out XG, but Real Betis, 2.87, so almost 3 on the XG to the 0.53 for Barcelona. So, I don't know. 2-2 at the end of the day with the final result feels pretty fair to Real Betis. They started the first and second half better than Barcelona. They were at home. They're a quality side that have not gotten the results this season that I think they deserved at times. So, I know that it's frustrating to tell you, hey, Barcelona should settle with the 2-2 because they shouldn't have. They were up in stoppage time 2-1. You have to win those matches if you're going to win the Liga. You have to win when the other team is fighting, when the other team is pushing. So as much as I say that Real Betis deserved the result, Barcelona should have gotten the 3 points. And I know it feels like we say that a lot, but hey, this Barcelona team can win the Liga. Real Madrid lost their last time out. By the time you're watching this, the game with Girona against Real Madrid will have happened. Atletico Madrid also, with their games in hand, could be on pace with Barcelona. We've got Liga. There is Liga. There's Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid. Neither of them look like they're an all-conquering side in the Liga. So we have a wide-open title race that I hope is not over until it's over. So I know people are going to push back and say it's over, but no, there are 3 teams absolutely in the race this season. And hey, we'll have to see what happens. Athletic Club, not even that far out of it either, having just beaten Real Madrid in their last game out. So yes, Liga. There is a Liga this season, and now it's time for the Champions League. I've got some fun stuff that I do hope to be premiering for that matchup against Borussia Dortmund. So again, keep an eye here, whether on the YouTube channel, whether on the podcast apps where anybody's listening, on Patreon for as low as $3 to help me make these shows and help me keep doing this at the clip that I try to do it. It's a lot of time and effort and all these things, and it also helps me, again, improve the audio, improve the video, improve graphics, all those different things is to help for the Patreon. So thank you so much to all of them, as well as those who directly support me by buying that merch, especially with the holiday season upon us. So without further ado, again, 2-2. It's a disappointing result, and yet it's a fair result, which is always a tough pill to swallow. So as always, until next time, Forza Barça.